Okay, welcome and good evening, everybody. It's February 14th, 2022, and this is a meeting of Mayor and Common Council for the Borough of Flemington. This meeting is being held online during the COVID-19 emergency. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of February 14th was included on a list of meetings notice sent to the Hunterdon County Democrat, the Courier News, on January 5th, 2022, posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall on that date and has remained continuously posted as required. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Borough Clerk. Certain measures are currently in place providing relief to ratepayers experiencing economic hardship during the COVID-19 pandemic. For more information, please go to our website at www.historicflemington.com or contact Rebecca Newman at rnewman@historicflemington.com or call 908-782-8840. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs is currently developing low-income household water assistance program. This program is designed to assist water and sewer customers facing economic hardship due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Further information will be provided once the program goes live. Sally, could you please call roll?
Yes, I can. Mayor Driver is absent for this meeting. Ms. Giles McCormick,
I'm here.
Ms. Hand,
Here.
Mr. Johnston. Oh, he's not coming tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Long,
Here.
Mr. Rossetti,
Here.
Ms. Tilly.
Here.
Okay,
Okay, hi, folks. So we have a work session tonight. And I've been going back and forth with Taylor Newman, and he's the executive
do you want me
director.
to promote him do you want me to promote him to a panelist status so we can see
He's gonna
him?
be-
Okay,
Yeah,
hang on.
he's gonna be talking to us. So yeah, Taylor is the executive director of Move for Mind. He'd like to plan a race in town. Like I said, we've been going back and forth, and so I invited him here tonight to talk to us about his organization, who he is, and what a potential plan might look like for Flemington Borough. So good evening, Taylor. I hope you can hear us and see us.
Yeah, I can hear and see everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, could you just give us a rundown of, I guess, your organization, who you are, what do you do, and I guess what would how does the 5K, what are the protocols, how does it work, what's the hopes for it, and why Flemington Borough? So
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So again, I was joining panelists, my connection cut out, so I'm not sure what Jeremy had said, but my name's Taylor. I'm co-founder and executive director of Move for Mind. We're a local 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to improve mental health through running. We are about 2 years old. We were incorporated in December of 2019, and we launched at the very beginning of the pandemic, April 4th, 2020. I do want to remind or inform all of you, I'm not sure who was on the city council at that time. We actually put a permit, we went through the permitting process for this same event in 2020, and it was approved unanimously on March 9th, I believe it was, from your city council. And that event was supposed to be our kind of kickoff launch event for our whole organization. So as we've worked through the pandemic through the last couple of years, we were limited to just kind of virtual work, promoting mental health and mental health awareness and improvement. Recently, we've begun implementing programming focused on both educational outreach as well as community outreach. We have an educational program called Steps to Success. We deliver a curriculum that educates youth on the importance of running and its benefits towards mental health. And through our community outreach work, we are organizing a number of fun run events and things of that nature. We're currently operating here in the Hunterdon County area. My office is in New Brunswick, so just the general central New Jersey area, as well as we have some programming going on in Connecticut as well as California. My co-founder, Emily Hudak, her and I are both lifelong Hunterdon County residents. I'm from Lebanon Township. She's from Milford. So I went to Voorhees, she went to North Hunterdon. And we came together a couple of years ago, started the organization, and have always wanted to put together a 5K to not only fulfill our mission of running to improve mental health, but really to raise money for our organization and to raise awareness for our cause. In terms of why Flemington, when we started this planning over 2 years ago, we wanted it to be local. We wanted it to be in the Hunterdon County area. We think Hunterdon County, is not immune to the effects of mental health. We think that the community can benefit from our message and our mission. And we chose Flemington specifically just because it's centrally located, it's accessible to both Hunterdon County residents as well as Mercer, Somerset, Middlesex. So that's really why we're looking to do it in Flemington. And more specifically, we're looking to do it a road race opposed to doing it in a park or a open space, just because, again, it's a fundraising event and we want eyeballs on the event. We want people to be aware of us and our mission, and we feel that doing it in a town, especially Flemington, will get some people's attention and get them to hopefully participate in our organization.
Okay, thanks. So I had a couple questions, but does any council members have any questions for Taylor?
Oh, I have a question. So you're planning on doing this on a Sunday? That's what
Yes.
our resolution says?
Yes. Yeah.
And,
So
but there's no time. Do you have a time that you wanted to do it?
we're looking later in the afternoon, like 3 or 3:30. That's to avoid just issues with church services, making sure that they have time to practice worship, get out, and police will have time to close roads down.
Okay, because I think that's the same time that Girls on the Run does theirs. And then on the map, I had a question on the link map, and the street closures on our resolution don't match. So I don't know.
Yeah, so as Mr. Long and I have gone back and forth, a variety of issues have come up, and we're really trying to find a route that is both possible, just logistically, but also the least disruptive to the town. Originally, when I spoke with Corporal McNally of the police department, he suggested we put the permit in for the turkey trot route, just because that's what the town knows, that's what the police department knows. They know how to run that event. Of course, that's very disruptive. That's closing down all of Main Street. That's very disruptive to businesses. So in talking with Mr. Long, I had tried to rework a route that would leave Main Street open. That led to a whole slew of other issues. I mean, we had issues with shared jurisdiction with Raritan Township on part of Shields Ave. We have, and Mr. Long, I haven't spoke to you about this, but issues with, I guess that's Court Street or Park Ave with the fire department and the City Hall building. A few other details like poor road conditions at a portion of Church Street, and a few other things that I might be forgetting, but a few issues. So really what, I would love to, for me personally, I would love to use the opportunity to talk with you all openly about, your concerns about, especially if we do a route like the turkey trot route that is going to close down Main Street, and what our concerns are with that.
So one of the thing about the turkey trot, the route is very well known. It does change sometimes from year to year, but there are thousands and thousands of people that come in. Do you have any idea of an anticipated attendance? Because I do know that folks, we can do partial closures, we can do, like, there are some ways to navigate, but attendance really makes a big difference in terms of where that potential group can go.
Yeah. Originally, we were looking at a date in May. I understand we're not voting on this today. So, and with all the issues that are coming up, we're probably looking at pushing this back a little bit into the year. Our expected attendance for an event that, if the permit were to be approved tonight and we were able to move right away tomorrow with registration, we're expecting 200 to 300. But if we are pushing it back later into the year, that could increase. But I would say, no more than 400 to 500 by any means.
No, that's a great ballpark, and that's very much appreciated. Okay. And probably more workable, especially for a first time year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And grow from there. So, okay.
Yeah, no, that was the original situation was just because of trying to get off of Main Street because of the state of the project happening in town. That was a concern because we don't know what's it going to look like in May. We don't know, and that comes up quick. And if they're still doing, it's a big project, and so we don't, there's safety concerns, all that stuff. I don't have to review that, but so kind of looking for an alternative. Obviously we can't vote on the resolution this evening, but I think maybe kind of looking at planning and it's going to be difficult just because we have a lot of stuff going on in town right now, and that hasn't been the case. So can we plan for the unexpected? I don't know to what degree, but certainly we can have these conversations and see if something perhaps is workable, and then come back and then vote on something with some more certainty, I would say.
Yeah, I'm just curious, Taylor, did you actually either run the route or walk the route or even drive the route that you presented on?
Yeah, I've driven and I've worked up, like, at this point 3 or 4 different routes. I've driven all of them.
So you think it's safe to have a 5K on that portion of Church Street?
I think
from Central Station Road through Liberty Village there?
I think it's safe. It's a concern. I think we would have to properly market and make sure runners are aware of that. There's 1 or 2 very, very big potholes that should be roped off, taped off. But in terms of, I don't personally believe it warrants completely avoiding that section of the road.
Wow.
I know it's in poor condition, absolutely. But I think given our size of the race, and it's especially, that's going to be the end of the race, so runners aren't going to be bunched together. Like if it was at the very beginning, I would say it would be a big concern because runners are going to be spread across the whole width of the road. But because it's at the very end of the race, runners are going to be a little bit more spread out. They'll be able to afford to move left or right to avoid those potholes.
And you're a runner yourself, Taylor, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's hard because we're not in the it feels like we haven't done a race in a while besides the turkey trot.
Yeah.
So I think we're a little out of practice too, and so I really want to rely on our OEM, our police department.
Caitlin, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of static from Caitlin. Is anybody else getting it?
Yeah, it's something. Yeah,
because I have the wrong one in my ear. Sorry. Yeah, especially since we haven't done a lot of these recently, and because of COVID and things like that, I would want to be extra reliant and make sure that we're coordinating with the police and not in making sure everybody's on the same page with this. I mean, generally we want and we need activities here in town. Sure. It's just a matter of making sure we do them safely. and
Absolutely.
smartly. And you mentioned the March meeting in 2019, or is it 2020? Because I was trying to pull up the previous discussion and couldn't find it. Do you have that date?
Yeah, March 9th, 2020, and it was
Oh, 2020. Okay, all right. I was looking at 19.
It was resolution 2020-68.
And I can find it from there. Thanks.
I didn't find that earlier when I was looking. I don't know if it was called Move for Mind at that point or not, maybe.
No, it's just on there for authorizing street closures for a mental health awareness run and walk on April 26th, 2020.
Okay.
No, we can look at that for reference. So, thank you for repeating that.
And our original route that we were planning, Emily, my co-founder, was the one leading that planning, but we were doing the turkey trot route.
And things have changed substantially. That, like, I think we
Absolutely.
have to give additional credence and consideration because of the state of development in town. And okay.
All right, anybody else have any questions or specifics for Taylor?
So who's reworking this route? Is it Jeremy? Is it you? Or is it Taylor?
Well, I mean, Taylor's been giving me routes, and I've been kind of taking them to, McNally and DPW and fire, and just saying, hey, could you take a look at this?
Okay.
And yeah, so any of the feedback and concerns, I've been fielding them and just kind of being in between with Taylor. So
my only other thought, I've done one 5K and it didn't go well, but was the color run. This was in Raritan Township near JP Case. That was all residential. And I what was the reason for not doing a residential?
I was talking about like residential or just a general road race in town compared to like doing it in a park or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Or an
Okay.
open space, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know this route off the top of my head, but it was in Raritan Township near JP Case, and there was no like big roads closed off. It was all through a development area. So I didn't know if that might be an option if this does not work out.
Yeah, there are definitely options. Again, we think financially, in terms of making it a success, we feel it's going to be easier to secure sponsors if the route is along their business or if it's right in town, and so that's a big part of it. We have backups, of course.
Okay.
We could do this event on a track, and
Yeah.
call it a day.
Yeah.
But we've planned this for since October 2019. We've been planning this, so we're trying.
And
to
the
move
route
forward.
that was approved, is there what has changed? There were issues now?
I think mostly the hotel development that's
Okay.
going on Main Street.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sally.
Yeah.
And is there an expected date for completion of that?
2025?
So like,
yeah,
so 2030.
so, yeah, it's gonna be
They're
some-
in the demolition phase right now, so it's at the very start.
And in terms of a Sunday afternoon event, like what are the opportunities for issues with that? Because I'm assuming
I mean-
they're not working, like actively working a day on a Sunday afternoon, but what other
Well, they
issues?
were working this past
This
weekend.
crew has been working. Yes,
Yeah.
They
this
do
crew
work
has been
Sundays.
working. It's so
Yeah.
weather dependent.
Right.
Yeah, we do run into road closure issues depending on the size and overtime for our borough staff if they're needed on a Sunday. But yeah, I think Sunday afternoons have been okay. It's more of a matter of if there's other competing events like Girls on the Run or things like that. But we can navigate that.
What route does Girls on the Run use?
Yeah, that was
Do you
my
guys?
question.
Yeah.
I believe
We
they
have
do the turkey trot run,
Okay.
Okay.
but the last time they did it in Flemington was 3 years ago, I think. I think
3 years
they've moved to Bucks County because they're Hunterdon and Warren Bucks counties. So they do their run the last couple of years in Bucks County, in I think it's New Hope. Because they didn't want to do a Sunday late afternoon in like May because they were concerned with the weather being it too hot. But
Hey, Kim, it's Brian.
hey, Brian.
Hey, just real quick on the Girls on the Run aspect. So Girls on the Run decided to move to more of a closed race course, A, for financial reasons, and B, there were some runner safety concerns Sunday afternoon. We actually shifted them. Initially, they were racing on Thursday afternoons and evenings, and they tried to move to a Sunday. We were just running into too many complaints with the residents and whatnot, which I believe was at the time it possibly could have been Mayor Griner had recommended, maybe more of a closed course situation.
Yeah, because I know the first time I was on council in 2017, they wanted to do a Saturday and shut down Main Street. And all the businesses were adamant against that. And that's when Main Street was really struggling. So they decided they would do Sunday. But
Absolutely. So I think as you guys are mulling this over, Taylor and Emily and I have been in contact for a better part of 2 years right now. The public safety aspect of this can easily be accomplished. It's not a heavy lift for any of us. The bigger concern is the disruption to A, businesses, and B, residents. The turkey trot works great on Thanksgiving because we're 25 years into this. Most people are well aware of the closures, to the point that they've completely shifted their lives on Thanksgiving morning to host parties for that race. And they know they can't come and go. I'll share quickly, just having a 1 year lapse in time, we encountered many complaints just this year with the restart of it, of people either, that weren't affected the year before, moving into town, cars in the course again. So, to shift it outside of the turkey trot route adds some challenges only to the fact that you're now disrupting residents that have never been involved in a road race before. Mm-hmm. So you're going to bring, a new aspect to that. It's going to require a little bit more manpower on the police and OEM's part, to ensure that course is closed and it's safe for those runners. Taylor understands that he's going to have to do a lot of messaging and notifications, but the problem is, you have to understand that it will absolutely be a disruption to your residents. You're talking, at least minimum 2 hour closures on a Sunday afternoon that they can't freely come and go from their homes, for whatever they have going on in their lives. So, I think that's the big thing that Jeremy's trying to get across is just that there is a disruption here. So if everybody's good with that, then that's something you need to decide.
And with the smaller number of participants, I know you guys are very clear about not letting folks out at all during the race. Is that something that's negotiable, or once the race is being run, folks can't drive at all if they're in that radius, if they're on that course?
So, typically the problem is we don't have all eyes on during the race course, right? And you never know what motorists are going to do. Mm-hmm. So, from a public safety planning aspect, I would never want to inherit the liability of allowing cars on a closed race course, because all you need that car to do is decide they're, angry and, want to go around something. And then all of a sudden you have a runner get hit, then whoever let that vehicle through just absorbed that liability. So that's where that comes in.
Yeah, if you take any of us that live on Bunnell Street, Shields is closed, Bunnell's closed, Park's closed, mine is closed. So we're just not driving on one closed road.
Yeah.
It's at least 3 to get out of our house. So it's tough.
All right.
You know, but it is a doable scenario. Just understand it comes with new moving parts because it's at a different time of year. And we had those challenges with Girls on the Run, you know, for the 2-3 years they did it. You know, so you just have to be prepared for that.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, so I guess anything else for the good of the order here from anyone? All right, well, thank you, Taylor, for coming and talking this out, and we'll definitely be in touch and see what is possible in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you all taking the time for hearing me out, and hope to speak with you all soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
All right, Sally, so we got what, 4 minutes until,
Oh, it looks like Tara's in the attendees and she's raising her hand to come in.
Yeah, I'll, do we want to just adjourn until, well, maybe I'll let her in and she can
You
tell
gotta
me. She
grab
can
your
say
water.
something for this. Hi, Tara.
Hi, sorry about that. I didn't have the link right at my fingertips.
Did you want to address the Move for Mind race at all, or?
Jeremy and I spoke earlier in the week, and I think with the changing course that it's probably best if we table it till the next meeting.
Yeah, I think that
'Cause
was
I
the
think with-
general.
Yeah, I think with the new course, we need the OEM coordinator and the fire department and such to weigh in. And I think, Jeremy, was there talk of maybe having them reach out to the local church because it is going to be on a Sunday and there was worry of,
well, then there was talk it would be in the afternoon, so it might
oh,
not
okay.
fully affect services, yeah.
But wasn't he just saying that they're thinking of doing it later in the year?
Yeah, I think he was saying that since we're already talking about tabling it now, that if they do it later in the year, you know, they might have to do it later in the year. And there was discussion about reviewing what the course would be and dealing with the logistics of the planning.
Yeah, and I think we definitely need Corporal McNally's weigh in and the fire department.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, so we got, what, 2 minutes? Do we have time to adjourn and take a 1-minute break?
Yes.
If we want to do that? All right,
Yes, we do.
all right.
We'll
So,
pause the recording. We'll be adjourned for 2 minutes.
okay, welcome and good evening, everybody. It is February 14th, 2022, and this is a meeting of Mayor and Common Council for the Borough of Flemington. This meeting will be held online during the COVID-19 emergency. Meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of February 14th, 2022 was included in a list of meetings notice sent to Hunterdon County Democrat and Courier News on January 5th, 2022, posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, and on that date has remained continuously posted as required. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Borough Clerk. Certain measures are currently in place providing relief to taxpayers experiencing economic hardship during the COVID-19 pandemic. For more information, please go to the website at www.historicflemington.com or contact Rebecca Newman at rnewman@historicflemington.com or call 908-782-8840. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs is currently developing a low-income household water assistance program. This program is designed to assist water and sewer customers facing economic hardship due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Further information will be provided once the program goes live. Could we all please rise and salute the flag? And I have a little flag here for us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Sally, could you please call the roll?
Yes, I can. Mayor Driver is absent. Ms. Giles McCormick,
Here.
Ms. Hand,
Here.
I believe Mr. Johnston is absent tonight. Mr. Long,
Here.
Ms. Rosetti,
Here.
Ms. Tilly.
Here,
Okay, so we'll be skipping the mayor's report, as obviously the mayor's absent tonight. So now we'll move to council member reports, and I guess I can start things off for us this evening. As far as the police department, I have some year-end data from our PD for the end of for the year 2021. I did share that information with my fellow council members earlier, but here are some finer points in case the public was interested. So our total number of calls for service in 2021, there was 30,335. And just as a point of comparison, the previous year, 2020, there were 31,229. The total number of motor vehicle crashes, 2021, it was 425. The previous year, 267. Obviously, less people were out driving that year. We've had 81 arrests in 2021, and in 2022, we had 197. The total number of stolen motor vehicles were 8. We had 17 overdoses. We had 327 criminal investigations compared to 2020, which was 404. There were a variety of other investigations, but by and large, those numbers I think were the most important to kind of look at and compare a little bit quickly. Important numbers to pay attention to with an increased eye on mental health services. There were 127 behavioral health calls. The highest occurred in February of 2021, and there were 36 transports to the hospital. I got a bunch of FCP news. Thanks to FCP and Lone Eagle for hosting the watch party Sunday morning. Thanks to all those who came out to support our hometown hero Kimmy Getz that morning, that morning, and also Friday night. There'll be another gathering at Buffalo Wild Wings on Thursday. Really great to see the community rally like this. We had some really positive attention due to having our own Olympian. And I believe one news outlet referred to us as a tight-knit community. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. The FCP wants you to know that you have until the 16th to guess the number of hearts at roughly 20 businesses in town. You can guess online at the Left Flemington website. 2 tickets to the Heart Tribute Band kicking it out for their show on the 19th at Stanhope will go to the winner. The calendar of events is drawn up, and April's a month to start our events anew. The stage and tent will be set up at the lawn on Stangle next to the new DIY headquarters. So anticipate a lot of activity there moving forward in the spring. Corn, Tomato, and Beer Festival will be returning in August. In October, we'll have the Harvest Fest once again. Parades and events will be commencing as well. March is traditionally restaurant week, but given the challenges that are lingering, the FCP will be holding a restaurant bingo. All you have to do is take a picture of yourself dining at any Flemington Boroughs restaurants that you can go to, or produce a receipt to enter the contest. 4 winners will receive a $50 gift certificate, and one lucky person will be awarded the grand prize of a $200 gift certificate. This will be taking place during the entire month of March. As far as civic engagement, if you're interested in helping out, please send me an email, jlong@historicflemington.com. I'll add you to the list. I'm hoping to get some educational material available to residents via borough mail and obviously through social media. Right now, just those announcements are the next plan, and obviously garnering people who might be interested. And that is my report. Next up, how about Council Vice President Jess Hand?
Thank you, Jeremy. So Councilman Long and I had a meeting with the mental health group. We met with Albert Bassetti, who is currently the Director of Emergency Services at Hunterdon Healthcare. He is applying for a grant for Hunterdon County. This would be a 24/7 facility that can handle phone calls, Zooms, and possibly walk-ins for people needing mental health services. The goal would be to provide care before there is a crisis. This would be a system to avoid people falling through the cracks. Other counties in New Jersey already have this service in place. We are hopeful that he gets this grant for Hunterdon County. Councilwoman Rossetti and I met with the superintendent of the Flemington Raritan District, Dr. McGann, and also 2 of the Board of Ed meeting members. We had talked about enrollment trends and how further development in the borough and Raritan Township will affect the schools here. We will have a follow-up meeting next month. For the community garden, the ground has been leveled, thank you to DPW, and is ready for a fence. So the community garden committee will be working on getting a fence as soon as possible. And the environmental commission is looking for new members. Please email me at jhen@historicflemington if you are interested. And that is it for me.
Thank you, Jess. Next is Councilwoman Caitlin Giles McCormick.
Thank you very much. The planning board met last Tuesday, February 8th, an usually brief meeting with some discussion about how to potentially move back to some level of in-person meetings while maintaining the access that online meetings allow for. The next regularly scheduled meeting was originally February 22nd, but that has been canceled. And the actual planning board meeting that will be held next will be Tuesday, March 8th, virtually at 7 p.m. We also discussed some additional notifications and reminders of regular planning board meetings, because it's one of those meetings that sometimes folks aren't, is on the top of folks' lists to attend to. So just again, promoting attendance and engagement there. And I'm sure we'll coordinate some with that. I'm looking forward to furthering the discussion between the Planning Board and the Historic Preservation Commission about certified local government, as we know the HPC has been making some great headway on that. So looking forward to that discussion in the next week or so. The Department of Public Works meeting was postponed from last week to tomorrow. So I don't have a specific report there, but do want to give a special thanks and shout out to all of the DPW employees for their work, especially being down a couple staff members with recent plowing and salting and those efforts that are just dependent on the weather. It happens when it happens. Would like to remind folks to sign up for Swift 911 to get alerts about plowing and moving your car and road closures and trash changes and things like that. The best way to do that is to go to historicflemington.com/residents/alerts. There is a link on the homepage as well, and instructions there, and you get it from the horse's mouth. What's going on, that's there. And you can sign up either by email for emails or text or both if you're so inclined. And there was one more thing I wanted to talk about, and duplication. Okay, so there are, I believe, 6. I thought there were only 4, but there are 6 snowflakes left up. Right around the construction zone. I have been in touch with the folks at Riley's and do anticipate that they will be coming down soon, but we'll need to coordinate with the Cust folks to make sure that's done safely and not a disruption on either end. So, and that's it.
Thank you, Caitlin. Councilwoman Elizabeth Rossetti.
Thank you. So as Councilwoman Hand mentioned, she and I met with Superintendent McGann last week, as well as 2 of the Board of Ed members. We had a good discussion about opening up communication going forth related to our development here and the impact on schools and vice versa, how they impacted our community. So we look forward to a meeting with her again next month. I've been in touch with Dave Giuliani regarding several issues around town with inadequate clearing of snow on sidewalk safety issues. He's been doing a great job following up with all those and keeping on top of that, making sure that we have no issues, resolve the issues that we have been having. So thanks to him. And a quick reminder to everyone who's listening in, please do make sure your sidewalks are cleared. It's important for people walking through town, but as well as emergency workers, fire department, especially around fire hydrants. These are really important areas to clear after storms. Going forward with codes and zoning, I had a meeting with Fire Marshal Ken McCormick last week, where he was introducing me to his office and how it works there. So I just want to express my appreciation to him and his guys, Steve and Alan, for all their hard work and dedication, making sure Flemington is safe. And I'm looking forward to a meeting in the next week or 2 with Jeff Klein to discuss further issues with codes and zoning. That's what I've got for tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Liz. And finally, Councilwoman Kim Tilley.
could only find my unmute button. All right. I had a fire department meeting last Tuesday. Liberty Village redevelopment met on the 1st. We've had budget meetings kick off again this coming Thursday. As Caitlin mentioned, we have a DPW meeting tomorrow. I have HPC on Wednesday. I also attended the Kimmy Gets Watch parties at Lone Eagle. We wish her luck on Thursday. I believe she's skating at 3 a.m. This is the long race, which is her strong race. So good luck to Kimmy on that. I believe the COVID-19 testing site that was in Borough parking lot is either closed or is closing any day. If you required a COVID-19 test, please utilize the county testing site, which is over, I always call it the Staples Plaza. I know that's not the right thing, but it's in where Pier 1 used to be housed. I did see also that the Salvation Army has received a donation of winter children's coats. If you or someone you know is in need of a child's winter coat, please stop by their offices Tuesday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. to pick one up. They are free of charge. You do not need an appointment, and their address is 40 East Main Street. And I think that's it.
All right, thank you, Kim. So we'll now move to public comments. A reminder, this is a public comment session. In observance of Robert's Rules of Order, members of the public may submit comments and commentary. Individuals have up to 3 minutes to comment and a full 30 minutes as reserved for the public comment session. So if there's anybody who has a question from the public, you can use the raise hand feature, or if you're on the phone, star something.
I think it's *9 to get
Star
on to get into the queue, and then it's like *6 to unmute yourself.
Okay, and I just got a text from Tara. She says her internet went out and she's working on getting back in here.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so one caller, you can hit *9 if you have a comment, and then I see there's 3 people. You can
Yeah,
raise
no
your
one's
hand.
got their hand raised that I can see.
Okay,
Any emails?
all right then.
No, we didn't get any emails. No.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Okay. All right, so nothing in Borough Mail, and we'll now move to our consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Giles McCormick will move.
Wait.
What I forget?
Can you go back up and we got to approve the minutes first?
Oh, I'm sorry. I knew I was gonna
I
do.
will move to approve the minutes, the regular scheduled meeting minutes from last
Sorry.
meeting.
Tilly, I'll second.
We're just going to do this fast and easy way. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say no. Any abstentions? All right, the minutes are approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the consent agenda. Do
Sorry,
we have a motion?
Tilly will move.
Handle
Giles McCormick.
second.
Give it to Hand.
Okay. Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Rossetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
That is approved.
Okay, so we will now move to our regular agenda. And first, we have a presentation, but this is going to be the 2022 Flemington Special Improvement District budget presentation. So Robin
I'm
should
gonna
have,
promote her. I'm gonna promote her to a panelist so she can. be-
okay. So Robin should have a presentation for us as well as some budget information to share. So I'll leave it to Robin once she gets up and running here.
Hi, Robin. Can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
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 I will also start my video. but fix my hair just a little bit. Okay, so so I created a quick presentation that we're gonna buzz through, and then I will show you the highlights of our actual to budget and year end for 2021. So we were able to accomplish that task. I'm sorry that we weren't able to send it to you in advance. I will send it to you after this meeting. And unfortunately, our bookkeeper got COVID and got really rather ill and was unable to do this more promptly. So, but it's done. So here we
I have
go.
a question
Sure.
before anybody starts. Do we know why Dave Norton is a panelist?
I don't
No.
have him as a panelist. He's an attendee.
No, he's listed in the panel.
Why is he on my screen then? That's weird. Is he on anybody else's screen?
Yeah,
He's on
my
as
screen.
attendee.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, now he is. I see him. What are you doing, Dave?
Sorry, Dave.
I don't know how this happened because I don't show him on my.
He's listed on the
Yeah.
attendee list, but we can see him at the same time. So that is weird. Can you demote him? I guess not if he's listed.
Okay.
As
I can't because he's not there.
yeah. All right.
He's gone now.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Sorry, Dave, but thank you.
Yep, sorry, Dave.
And can you enable screen sharing for me?
Oh, I thought I did that.
It
All
says
right.
disabled at the moment. Oh boy. Oh God. All of a sudden I'm gigantic. What happened here? Okay. Okay. So now am I sharing my screen? Because all I see is me in a giant format.
You have to hit share screen on your end.
It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out
Oh, maybe
how to not do.
You can also just make her a temporary co-host. I don't know if we feel comfortable doing that, if that's advisable, Tara. But
I promise I won't steal any state secrets.
you don't have access to anything. Just have the
You're now a co-host. You should be able to do anything I can do. So that's good.
Yeah, I think in the past, that's what Betsy's had to do is make Robin a co-host to share.
Okay, great. Here we go.
Sorry about that.
Sharing, moving ahead. All right, so the presentation really quickly, and I will present it in the, sorry, give me one sec, in the slideshow form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. So this is our 2022 budget presentation, which is really a year-end review and some thoughts about where we go from here in 2022. So once again, there's 5 pillars of what the FCP does. And these are 1, advocacy for stakeholders and commercial interests. That is how this organization is financed by commercial property owners, and we are their representation because not everyone votes. So this is a form of our organization is a form of representation. Economic development planning, which is everything from the Stantec reports to the kind of daily efforts we make to market our businesses. Events and marketing to activate business areas. That's really the charge. We're not an event or a party company. We're here to do very strategic marketing that gets Flemington's name positively in the press and gets people coming to our businesses. Business recruitment and retainment. I really hope in the future that we can all say what kind of businesses we want to see coming here, and we can go out and find those businesses and treat them to open here. But at the moment, we have good news about the recruitment and retainment efforts we're seeing. And then last is the stewardship of the public space, which basically is all of our streetscape improvements. It's everything from the plants and the pots to the Christmas trees and all of the things that we currently inventory. Okay, next. The overall perspective on our 2022 budget is, as a result of COVID, we have become really great at scaling events and promotions up and down. We probably were less good at this before COVID because we were able to plan and everyone had certain assumptions that were true. And, the past couple of years, all of our true assumptions have kind of been shaken and stirred, and we've really had to be able to change things on a dime. And, last year at this time, we didn't know if we would have any events in the year ahead. So, and it really wasn't until April that it was clear that we would be able to have some events with restrictions. So, it's hard to do it that way. But we've reserved funds to execute one or more capital improvement projects quickly in 2022. The FCP can fund improvements that complement the South End grant improvements. So if we are using South End grant funds from the MPP to fix signage or to do some kind of mural program, the FCP has funds to be able to do the same kind of work in the rest of the borough. So while we have more money, we're able to do more things. And I don't want anyone to think that we're shifting our focus to the South End. The South End grant is a great opportunity, but it really allows us to, to use the other people's money from the state to fix certain things and then make sure that we follow through along Main Street and other areas. We have funds reserved to seed 2 to 3 large street festivals. For example, Corn, Tomato, and Beer, the Harvest Festival, the Central Jersey Jazz Festival. Both the Corn, Tomato, and Beer and the Harvest Festival were $10,000 before we got started. So between DPW and police costs, large festivals at that scale seem to scale to a bill of that nature. So, the events we're doing are large and we get big crowds and they're expensive. Our focus is on long-term economic developments to ensure the success of our business areas. And that really is, housing and walkability, and short-term economic developments to retain businesses and attract new businesses. That's all the stuff we do every day in terms of marketing and promotion. So giving you something still not too attractive to look at. COVID relief and grant programs. We did a lot of surveying to understand the impact. The impact has changed. But if you listen to tonight's news, restaurants are really having a hard time. And, it's still the same thing. It's supply, staff, and cost of goods. We participated in more federal NJEDA conferences than I ever thought we would to understand the relief and the money that's coming down the pipeline. There's really still a ton of money coming through the pipeline. So we have to continue to help our businesses figure out when are the grants, what does it involve, which one do you have to be there at 9 a.m. when they say be there at 9 a.m. with all your papers ready, and which ones are less desirable because of certain reasons, and therefore you can wait 2 weeks to apply. Okay, so all told, and I've told you this before, in 2021, with all of the grants, there were 1,600 loans under 150,000 in our zip code, but really mostly in the borough. And the borough, being an opportunity zone, has had a great leg up in all of these grants. If there were, I think 40% of the applications that were approved came from opportunity zones. So, we've been able to double and triple our businesses' chances for getting money because of that designation. So, all told, the total value of the amount of grants received was $667,000 of our, I wonder where that went. I think of our 450 businesses, like 240 businesses got some kind of relief. That may be under what I can see right here. Okay, next. We've been keeping track of business retention, and so this was a statistic you saw way back when. This is from COVID, like March 2019 through the end of 2020. This is this was the business makeup. And as you can see, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble seeing the bottom of my screen. Okay, that's better. As you can see, we've had 3 failed businesses that kind of opened right away and closed. And again, this is old news. We got a lot of press on this story. Next year, 2021, which was last year, we had 14 additional new businesses, 13 of which were local, which I think is going to be the story that we're going to hear repeatedly. 3 of these businesses were people under 30. 2 of them were local high school graduates who are under 25 when they open their businesses. And we broke them up into areas so everyone can kind of see, Main Street, even though it may not feel like there's, actually Humdu should have been under Stengel, but it may not feel like there's a ton of new business on Main Street. There actually is. And we kept track of the closures. And again, we had one of the oldest businesses in Flemington leave us, sadly, and Slim Chickens, which was one of the newest businesses, also left us. And Matthew Douglas moved from one part of Flemington to another, and we keep track of that. I saw a sign that said Tara had her hand up. Is that something I need to pay attention to? So I'm going to keep going. So next, business retention in 2022. Now, we're not even halfway through February. It's only been 6 weeks. But in the last 6 weeks, there are 10 new businesses that have taken leases and are making moves to be open with a date. So again, some of my paintball and airsoft, I'm sorry, was supposed to, well, I guess it is the Main Street area because it's up on Broad Street. So, Viva Mexico bought a building that they're working on every day, and they're planning to open. Millie's is opening in the fall. I just actually saw that the Gift Horse opened where Attachments was, and I have to add that to the list. But, all this is really great news. So you couldn't see my screen? I'm sad. All right.
We can see your screen.
Okay. I just saw a note that said you couldn't see my screen. All right. So survey results kind of inform all of this FCP strategy. And one really strategic move we made last year was we hired a PR firm who specializes in economic development PR. And this is from their website. They secured 36 media placements, which generated 445,000 coverage views, and the coverage garnered 89.6 million impressions. And it's those things, in my more than 20 years of experience. It's that thing that actually can make your Saturday on the street feel a little different. So, headlines like "On the Mend," "After a long downturn, Flemington stages an unlikely recovery." I guess they weren't betting on us to have a likely recovery. So, next, this is how they frame the challenge. The PR firm, after decades of decline, um, where we are, we wanted to shine a light on our plans for revival and attract new investment. After becoming New Jersey's only rural winner of a $100,000 Opportunity Zone Grant Award, Flemington leaders hired global downtown development expert Stantec to reimagine our downtown core in 2019. The borough is redeveloping its famed Union Hotel, the historic Courthouse Square, along with its first outlet mall, Liberty Village. And despite COVID-19, 16 retail businesses opened in a 1.4 square mile borough in 2020, working with the Flemington Community Partnership. Violet PR's goal was to shine a light on Flemington's assets for investors, business owners, professionals from across New Jersey. And that, I believe, is what we really did very successfully. So I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. So the solution is a lot of news announcements, but it was really a different pitch than us promoting, a harvest festival or something really local to, an event. This is general advertising and marketing for Flemington as a place to be, a place to live, to work, to play, and to open a business. Okay, so again, Flemington plans vibrant, walkable downtown core with the help of $100,000. 16 new small businesses open, and this story ran 36 times. So in addition to that, we also had social media and email growth. The most important statistic, I think, is that our email open rate in the last 90 days has been 41%. So people who do this will tell you, if you can get 15 to 20% of people to open your emails, you're doing okay. But 40% is really like almost unheard of. And it's fantastic. So I don't know if we're if we're throwing better pitches and or something, but lately people are really responding to the information we put out there. So
If I can jump in for 2 seconds, that also speaks to the quality of the list, because it means those are the right people that you want to be, that want to hear from you and will actually be engaging and will actually be following through. So I'm freaking amazed by that. So good job.
Me too. I'm so excited about it. I can't even tell you. Because, a lot of people throw a lot of spaghetti at the wall, and, that's what you do. This stuff is usually very intangible. So to actually have a tangible result that you can, that is going in the right direction is awesome. So, everything is growing. We're giving you the baseline of when we hired Kathy, and Kathy started keeping track of the numbers. I think that in 2022, I'd like to double all of those numbers, and I'm going to make that a goal. And we are hiring a professional PR marketing firm. We're interviewing somebody who's really awesome. She gets a lot of awards for all of her towns that she works with, and she gets a lot of press and stories. Good. She pitches great stories, and they get printed in the right places. So moving along. Oops, sorry. So this is the list of all the places that we normally advertise in, and we continue to do that consistently. We've really shifted a lot of what we do so that every time we do something, we use it as an opportunity to provide a list of all the businesses in Flemington. So when we do a dining card, it has all the names of the restaurant, because the biggest issue we really have, or the biggest challenge, is no one knows what our boundaries are, and no one knows where all of our businesses are. And when you have 450 businesses, which is about the same amount that we had in Harvard Square, you know, it's a lot, but it's real. We would have to hire a trolley to take everybody to where all the businesses are. So that is something we consistently try to do, is message that we have 450 businesses, 90 plus are health and wellness, 50 are restaurants, the rest are retail. And for March, as Jeremy told you, we are going to do a restaurant bingo, and it'll look something like that, but it'll have all of our restaurants. We switched our advertising to this, where each time we take an ad, we say we're home to 300 shops, 90 fitness, beauty, wellness, 50 eateries, plus historic tours and events. And as you can see, we have a highlight of all the different events. And even with COVID, we still had a lot to advertise. And our main slogan is that we have something for everyone. So that was spring and summer. This is fall. And September and October, we had so much to produce, so much going on. We had to take one page for both months. And then we created this ad campaign called Flemington Historic Main Street Free Events, because we heard the Main Street retailers and restaurateurs saying that they weren't feeling like Main Street was getting enough attention. So we will continue to do just Main Street specific ads. And in addition, so much to do in Flemington, which is really, really, really true. We also have started using our iconic buildings in our ads, and aren't they like just the cutest? I love them. This was our passport. Sorry, my screen is like, I touch this button and it just jumps around. But again, here's the passport. Here's the list. We can't, being able to tell people, and this, by the way, this list was from last year. I only had time to pop the new picture in. But being able to tell people where the businesses are is really important. How many there are and where they are. In 2021, each year we have event grants, and that's for the businesses to take money to seed an event of their, passion. So last year we gave out $11,000 in grants. We always have about $20,000 in the budget for grants, and we'll just try, and hopefully you guys can help us be more aggressive with getting the businesses to do the events, because honestly, it's good for other people to do events so we can spend a little more time doing PR and other things. There's MPP grant money for events in 2022, and whatever happens in the South End, we'll make sure it's equally happening outside of the South End. And then we have sign grants, which was facade grants, and we specifically wanted signs. I can't remember how many. The sign grants are up to 1,500. Some people only took like 500, but we gave out 9,500 in storefront sign grants. The people who got them have fantastic looking signs. And we have 20,000 set aside for 2022. And we fully expect that we'll be able to, now that we have, 10 to show from last year, we hope to double that number this year. In the MPP grant, there's money to hire to hire technicians who do consultation on storefront improvements. So we have that in our budget. We will hire somebody. They come and they give a lecture to everybody about storefronts. Then they pick like 20 people to work with. If the people take advantage of their suggestions, then they get $1,000 from the grant to actually do the suggested improvements. So I hope, we'll start to see more of the impact of these grants and what the money has been given to improve. So streetscape improvements, we got those wreaths to light. So now the plugs, while there was much suspicion about whether the plugs in the new lampposts actually worked, we made darn sure that they did, and they do, and they've been lit all winter. They're coming down soon, but we have the opportunity to use those plugs for other kinds of lighting or sound or other opportunities. So that we're really excited about that. New parking signs. Our sign, Jay from Fast Sign sold his business to Charles. Charles is up and running. We found the substrate and enough of it to cover all of our signs. There are some parking lots that have changed. We anticipate making our maroon wayfinding signs that are really for parking to be universal and look something like this. So this will help with our parking communications issue. It's not expensive. The signs have to come down, they have to get painted, and they have to get a new vinyl front put on them, but we can change them pretty regularly without it being that expensive. And then we will tackle the other maroon signs and what they should say, because right now they say Liberty Village and Flemington Firs all over the place, and that needs to be adjusted. Here you go. See, so I scheduled a focus group to talk about signage and to determine what the Stangl area is going to be called, and what do we do about Courthouse Square. And I think we should be able to do this pretty quickly. And there is money from last year's budget that we have for this year to really execute on this. Again, the rail trail is still a conversation. It's a much longer conversation, but it's in the MPP grant plans and segments, and hopefully we'll get something done there this coming year. Because the MPP grant that we got is for visible and tangible improvements. If it's hidden away, we can't do it, but we have $125,000 and a budget and a 5-year plan that we'll be presenting to the council next week. We have an advisory committee. We did a survey. We've had focus groups. I think we'll have a really solid plan and be able to act quickly so that, between April and December, you'll actually see change signs and some historical panels and some murals and some other things, and some grants to homeowners and grants to businesses. So other people's money is what they call it in the MPP world. So I think we should call it that here too. So other people's money is grants. We got, we assisted in writing a grant that the municipality got for $100,000. We've completed that grant. We should get a final payment, and the reports are final. We have one more community grant presentation to talk about the Stantec reports on March 9th, and everyone is invited. The reports won't change in any way, but we just want to make sure people keep referring to the Stantec report. We want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to listen and know what it is. And the MPP grants, it's $125,000 every year for 5 years with a match from the municipality that was necessary to get the funding. And again, we will extend whatever work happens in the South End that needs to match in other parts of the borough with FCP dollars. So that's the end of that.
And that's only a partial match. I don't want people to freak out. It's
Oh yeah,
we're committing to 125 a year. Okay.
no, you're not. All right. So, and I just, again, they're called the Spadia, but this is what we take in the Hunterdon Democrat. And again, we're constantly talking about the numbers. We're constantly showing this list of restaurants. This was our holiday, a holiday promotion. We usually have a contest. Contests allowed us to do things to get people to come here. So now I'm going to show you our 2020 balance sheet. So so this is, let's see, maybe I should make it, nope, that's not going to do it. This is our profit and loss. Whoops. Okay. This is our profit and loss from 2021. So this is highly collapsed. I have many expanded versions, but basically our total income was 397,000, and you can see the sources of our income. And our expenses were broken into these categories, with our total expenses being 400,000, and therefore we had a loss of almost $3,000. So to me, that's good budgeting and good direction, because we didn't overspend our budget by that much. And the truth of this budget is this is a cash basis budget. So this means any dollar that came to the bank January 1st, 2021 to December 31st is included. Santa didn't, I hope there's no children listening, because Santa didn't send us a bill until January, so he gets included in next year's budget. So, it's not a perfect picture, but it's a pretty good estimate. And what's different about what you're looking at from what you see when I sent you the budget is when I create the budget, I always include a carryover amount, and the carryover is the final paycheck. I'm sorry, not paycheck, but the final assessment payment that we get at the end of the year gets counted in our budget for the following year. Does that make sense? Just nod your head. So we get 4 tax assessments in a year. The last ones come sometimes between November and December. We don't usually spend it in November and December. We carry it over because our November, December bills sometimes don't come until January. So we will always have a carryover. It's more based on timing than it is on us not spending money. So, however, when you look at the budget, so hold on one sec. I'm going to show you a more expanded version. This is the fully expanded version, which is 3 pages. So, when you look at this budget, this shows event income. So in the past, we never earned income at our events. We never charged people for tables, or was a very nominal charge. So we have started to become able to raise some funds at our events. So it's not, if the event costs $20,000, we're usually able to recoup something. And then there's sponsorship and the total income. These are our expenses for salary and staff that got paid through payroll. this office and clerical is other staff that we had working for us during the year doing small projects. And we had extra projects that we needed to hire staff for. This year we moved again we moved in, I think, March last year to our new space. In here you see exactly all the expense for the events, the event grants, the Central Jersey Jazz Fest, which just happens to be a very expensive, like, theater style event. Contest prizes, which is a very cost effective way of doing things. Harvest Festival, which was a first time event, and there's a bill for $6,000 that didn't get to us until after. So the total amount of expense for the Harvest Fest was $20,000, and I think no matter what we do, if we're closing street and having more than 5,000 people, it's going to cost, it's expensive. And then other events, the lawn is the former filling station expense, and our tent cost $3,000 to put out, so we're already have hard costs. Stakeholder relations and meetings was not a big expense. Marketing is broken down here into all the different categories. Graphic design is its own expense. Business promotion and newsletter is all the promotions that we do for the businesses and our weekly newsletter, and the expense to pay the person to do that. Other operation expenses, insurance, interns, volunteers, internet and Google Drive. Zoom has become an expense we all have to bear, and we buy like a pretty expensive Zoom. So, that I think we'll have that for a long time. Office rent was high because of our new space, but our storage was low because we were able to put everything in our new office. And then, we bought a couple things like in the supplies category. We bought our own fencing, the plastic fencing that we've been using instead of renting fencing. And a lot of these things are things where it's a hard cost 1 year, but it really gets amortized over many years and is a lot less expensive. And then you'll note that there's a $55,965 Opportunity Zone grant expense, which was the Stantec reports and the Zimmerman Voc reports, and we bought a couple of databases, and the PR firm that we hired. So we've been reimbursed for $50,000 in the budget before this year. We got our first reimbursement, Sally, that came through to you, and then there's a second one that's coming next year now that the grant is completed, but it'll come in 2022. And then we have all of our professional services, and then streetscape improvement, where we put $73,000 in the budget. We spent $44,000, and if we are to do 3 plantings a year, that number will go up. If we bought all those wreaths and everything last year, so we didn't buy as much around the holidays as we did the year before, because we really didn't need to. So that's really this our year end for last year. And then if you'd like, I can put, I know we're getting past my time, but I can put the 2022 budget back on the screen. And if anyone wants to ask questions, I'm not sure where we go from here, but I already presented this information, so I think I just answer specific questions. So I'm gonna stop talking now.
Thanks, Robin. So I just want to make sure I'm doing this right here. So do we open public comment on this now or after or next?
I think the way we've done it in the past is that this is the council's opportunity to ask questions of
Okay.
Robin. And when we get to the actual second reading of the budget, then there is time for there's a public hearing during that where the public can comment.
Okay, thank you. All right, so does anybody have any questions for Robin on any of this stuff that we've seen?
What are you emailing us? So this way I know.
You can have anything I have.
Okay, because I would have liked that before the meeting, so this way I could have looked at it to ask questions. You know, you went over it so fast, I didn't really get to look at it, so.
I'm happy to email it to you right now or after the meeting, whatever makes sense.
Okay.
We'll send everything, yeah.
Because we'll be able to ask questions at the second reading, right?
This is the second reading. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. This is the second reading of the budget. The FCP budget was introduced in January, and we scheduled the public hearing for tonight. So this is the public hearing on adopting the budget tonight.
But we didn't get the detail until just now at the meeting, not before the meeting. Okay, got it.
Yeah, due to your person having COVID, right? Your accountant, your bookkeeper.
There's no rule in my estimation and my experience. There's no rule with this presentation. So, you know, if you asked for more information, I'm happy to deliver it. But the budget, you know, the budget that you're reviewing isn't, you know, you're reviewing the budget for the year going ahead. That's not necessarily tied to reviewing the past budget. It's the right thing to do and it's a wise thing to do, but I don't think that there's a, you know, that one is done before the other or that they're done in tandem. Because, you know, I think that the spirit of this is, are we doing an acceptable job? You know, we represent 430 businesses and 200 property owners. We come to the council to tell you what we're doing and how we're doing things. And I think it's really like a vote up, vote down. And for you to say, you know, we, like has happened in the past, we'd like you to take over the planters. Or, you know, things, if there are budget relieving items that you feel we should be taking care of or things you'd like to take back, I think that's really the spirit of this. That's my understanding.
Do you really want me to comment on this? Because I don't know if this is the proper place.
So we did receive the projections for next year previously, but what we didn't get was the presentation about last year. So I think she's trying to pull those two apart a little bit, understanding that the report does inform, the new information does inform the pattern of behavior and their stewardship of the money. It's important. We need it. There's absolutely no doubt.
I mean, last year when I presented the budget, I gave a PowerPoint like I did tonight of the you know, the highlights. What did we do? How did we spend the money? How are we impacted by COVID? So, and last time I was given time and instruction to just go over the budget and that everyone wanted to see more detail. So that's what we did. We expanded the budget and we gave you more detail. And that was what my presentation was the last time.
With the framework.
Well, I think we got the more detail this time. Right?
I was asked to, normally I give you a rolled up budget. Normally since I've been here, and again, this is my third time presenting a budget. I gave you a more condensed budget, and I was asked to expand it like I did, like what you're looking at on my screen is a more expanded budget. I mean, I'm happy to present the information any way that you want me to in the future, but this is how we did it this year. And
Right, but you're asking me for questions and comments, and I haven't reviewed the information. This is all I'm saying.
Well, but I think the information, again, people have voted on the budget without having the past information. Because,
not me.
Well, actually, that's not true. Because in the past, we presented the budget in October, right? So you wouldn't have had the year end because it wouldn't have been done. So the year end is done at the end of the year. So in January, we can do a year end, but we can't do a year end before. Our budget hearings have normally been in October. So you weren't looking at the year end budget detail that I'm providing to you now. And that's what I'm saying. They're not necessarily, you're not making decisions. I don't believe you're making decisions about our budget going forward based on discrete information about, and I mean, specific information about about the year end last year, because when we normally came before you in October, it wouldn't have been done. Does that make sense?
I know what you're saying. I don't think you understand what I'm saying, but,
Okay.
Okay.
So what are we thinking here, folks? I just don't.
So understanding that there's two pieces that we're looking at right now. We're looking at the 2022 FCP budget, and that's ultimately what we're voting on. And the new information that we received tonight, what Robin's provided us with, is not specifically about the 2022 budget, but it does inform our decision in that if there was some crazy misallocation, if they were way over budget in terms of their actuals for 2021, that's really important information to have. We need to know how they spent. Well, it's helpful to have the information from 2021 to see that they did a very close job in terms of budgeting, and those line items seem to match up very well. That informs our decision about, are we entrusting them with this 2022 allocation and how they've allocated it. So I'm comfortable, and we've kicked the can a few times already, and I think appropriately so. With the public hearing being tonight, love to hear the folks and what they have to say. Yeah, I think if
You want to move on to the, do you want to move on to the resolution 2022?
Yeah.
I have one quick question about grants for next year, if I can ask Robin. So the event grants that you're trying to promote. So understanding that the FCP has done a lot of events. It's and everybody wants the FCP to do events because it's got this kind of overarching and collective ability to do so, but that we want that $20,000, I believe, that is allocated for businesses to do events. That is something that can be at a small scale, correct? Like I think sometimes when we see, when a business sees, oh, I can put on an event, like they're thinking corn and tomato. They're thinking some of the big events that we have around town. But in the past, some of the recipients for those grants have been like the queen for a day. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's it's something that happens in town, that's a special thing to bring people out at a specific time, but it can be for 40 people, right?
Yes.
And so I think that we can help champion, and those things have that cumulative effect. So I think I want to pay attention to that distinction, because those things are important, but it's also not this giant task that an event is going to have to put on another, or a business is going to have to put on another salsa night or something like that out of scratch. They can start small, it can build, or it can just be a certain engagement level for a certain time and a certain event. Okay.
And we this year, because of COVID, and actually last year, we said to the businesses, it doesn't really, because we had a strict rule that it had to be an event. You know, it couldn't, the grant to the businesses had to be used for promotion for an event. So that meant that they had to be able to seed pay for the event, and then the money went to promotion. And this year we said, you know, because it was so hard for people to have events with all the changing restrictions, that if they just wanted to do a promotion for everybody on their block, we would consider that. We were getting lots of event grant applications pre-COVID, you know, for really cool things like a women's motorcycle race, and you know, a peach festival, fun, exciting things, which is the spirit of the grant. And then uh, I think this is really COVID related. That again, if you're short staffed and you can't count on your supplies, it's hard to want an event grant. But hopefully things will start to shift in the other direction. And yes, we can really use the council's help championing that like the public garden isn't necessarily, the community garden isn't necessarily a business event grant, but if you are doing something in tandem with the farmers market or a business, we have a grant up to $1,500. And the same thing with the signs. You know, I hope that Jeff Klein will tell people when he goes to either for an occupancy, to tell people that we have a sign grant, because sometimes businesses will just get their own sign and not talk to us, or even sometimes Jeff Klein. So, you know, it's really helpful for them to do it properly and have it financed.
Robin, you might want to reach out to the sign committee and let them know that the grants are aware, because everybody is supposed to go to the sign committee, which I think it's Todd.
Yeah.
Right, Todd Cook from the planning board. I believe the HPC representative, I believe, is Wendy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm actually on the sign committee. I don't think it's a conflict of interest, but sometimes, you know, the sign committee, sometimes the last person to know that a sign is being planned. It's more like, it would be great if the realtors and the landlords said to I mean, Dave Norton was on this call, you know, his landlord didn't know that we had a sign grant program. So it's really just getting everybody the message that you know, there's this sign grant program, and it it's substantial enough to pay for fast signs, who doesn't do all of the signs in town, but does a large portion of them. He does tell people, and that's helpful. But I think we're not going to have. Well, I don't believe we're going to have restrictions on events going forward. We won't be in a state of emergency. I think that hopefully we can message to the businesses that they should go ahead and start creating events without concern.
And if I can shift real quick, so what we're voting on tonight, just for clarity for all of council and anybody who has a public opinion or public comment coming up, this budget for 2022, Sally passed along to the council, I see on January 6th, and I don't believe has changed since then. Can you confirm that for me, Sally? Off the top of your hat, come on, I'm putting you on the spot. There hasn't been any change since then, Robin,
This is
right?
the budget. This
Yeah.
is the budget that was read at the first reading at the meeting in January when we planned this public hearing. So it's been out there for a month. at
Yeah,
least.
so I appreciate, the 2021 information is really helpful. But that's ultimately not what we're voting on tonight. So, thank you.
Okay, so why don't we move ahead then to resolution 2022-40, the 2022 Flemington Special Improvement District budget. We're gonna move for a public comment, and do I have a motion?
Yeah,
And I'll
there's gotta be a motion to open the
Open,
public
yeah.
hearing.
I'll
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
I'll move to open the public hearing.
Tilly, I'll
And I'll-
second. Oh, go ahead, Jess.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
All those in favor of opening the public hearing, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Okay, the public hearing is open at 8:47 PM.
I think Dave has got his hand raised.
I gotta get down there. Okay. All right. Dave, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
All right, Dave Norton, 29 East Main Street and 52 Main Street, the corner. I opened my first brick and mortar business in January last year and relied heavily on Robin's expertise, her connections, and her media placements. That left me with more time to focus on building my business where my own strengths lie and allowed me to offload these otherwise crucial components to early success for brick and mortar businesses. Robin and I just spoke late last week about a new state small business improvement grant. I'm still slogging my way through it, but I would have been lost without her guidance. Early last year, my business was the first to take advantage of the sign grant that we just spent a bunch of time talking about, and that allowed us to spring for much nicer signage than we'd initially budgeted for. Robin is a fount of Flemington information, accountable, and deeply cares about the success of our town. She has big ideas, she gets things done, and she knows how to throw some pretty good events. I won't call them parties. I believe we are very lucky as business owners to have her as director of the FCP. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other public comment?
I'm sorry, would you repeat I don't know if there are people on the phone, but normally you say how to do the phone thing?
Oh, yeah.
Star nine.
Star 9?
Star 9 to get into the queue, and then it's star 6 if you're on the phone to unmute yourself.
Okay. Oops. Okay. Doesn't look like we have anybody else.
I'll move
So,
to close public comment. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
all right,
If there's a second.
we have a
Handle
second.
second.
All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Okay, the public hearing is closed at 8:50 PM.
Okay, so Sally, at this point, we would be calling a vote. Am I right?
What would happen now is someone makes a motion to do whatever they want to do, adopt it, whatever, you know?
Okay, okay. So do we hear a motion?
I'll move to adopt.
Do we have a second?
Handle second.
Okay, now would be the time for any more council discussion, if there's any council discussion.
Anyone?
I think my only comment, if there's any way we can, I know we talked about this last time with the watering plants, the $20,000. I know I'm not sure what the solution is, but that's the only thing I can think. But otherwise, I think everything on here looks good to me. So thank you, Robin. If there's anything we could do about $20,000 of watering plants, that would be my only comment.
I would say that's gonna be a conversation moving forward.
Okay, yeah.
There is a way, but it really probably means buying different kind of planters with more self-watering capacity. The giant like 200-pound stone planters that we have are not exactly up to modern hydration in a public capacity standard. So I think we're stuck with the old the bladder on the truck and the people to do it.
Okay, other council comments? Okay, Sally, let's
All
call a
right, I'll
vote.
call the vote. All right, Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
I'm gonna abstain.
It is passed.
Thank you.
Okay, so that now brings us to ordinance 2021-1. First reading of ordinance reestablishing the terms of the Environmental Commission. Do we have a motion?
Handle motion.
Okay, I still got Robin up on the screen there. I don't know.
Yeah, let me let me demote her. Hang on.
Okay, so throughout the meeting, I might bug Tara just for some clarification. I'm pretty sure I know what I've got here. So this ordinance.
Wait, hold on a second, Jeremy.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
need
I'm
a
sorry.
sec? Do we
Get
need
ahead
a
of myself.
second? Because I'll second.
I don't think we had. Do we have a first?
We haven't had a first yet.
we
I'm
didn't.
Oh, I
sorry.
I thought
No,
Jess did.
I thought well, hand will move.
Okay. We
Okay,
have a
sorry.
second.
Tilly, I'll second.
Okay, so this ordinance, this is, as with the Shade Tree Commission, will now have these terms of the Environmental Commission. And I believe it ensures some records of these meetings. And Tara, I hope I didn't bungle that up. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
No, that's really what it is. It's the same thing we have with the Shade Tree Commission. It's really just a cleanup ordinance to make sure that everything is clear about how many members we have, what their terms are, et cetera.
Okay. Are there any questions? Okay, Sally, can we get a vote?
Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that was the first reading, so a public hearing will be set for the next council meeting on February 28th.
All right, next up is ordinance 2022-2, an ordinance accepting a sewer easement over a portion of block 49, lot 2. Do I have a motion?
Tilly will move.
Do I have a second?
Janice McCormick will second.
Okay, so this is for the property along the circle on 202. We just simply need an easement so that the borough can access and maintain a sewer pipe on that property. Any questions?
Just so everyone knows, the borough engineer reviewed this, is okay with everything, as well as this was a condition of the planning board's approval.
Thanks, Sarah. All right, we have a motion. Or I'm sorry. Tally, do we have any questions? No. Thank you, Tara. Can we call a vote?
Yes, I will call the vote. I'm just writing, sorry. All right, Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
Okay. This one, the public hearing on this one, I would prefer it if we could make it March 14th, because I have to put out 200-foot notices and I have to get that list from the assessor's office. And so that may take me a little longer than just the regular 2 weeks. So plan on a March 14th public hearing on this one.
Okay, thanks. Next up, we have Resolution 2022-62, appointing the Local Emergency Planning Council 2022. Do we have a motion?
Handle move.
Do we have a second?
Tilly will second.
Okay, so this is exactly what it sounds like. We have, hold on, my computer's moving slow. It's got to scroll down. Sorry. There it is. Yeah, we have a local emergency planning council that would be headed by Brian McNally and several other folks who work in the town at various roles. Nothing should be very surprising, but this is just our standard. Are there any questions?
Been impressed with their work so far. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Sally, let's call a vote.
Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Thank you. Resolution 2022-63, authorizing street closures for Move for Mine 5K on Sunday, May 15th.
I move to table.
Do
I'll
we have?
second.
All right.
Boom.
All right, I will call that vote. Hey, Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
Okay, that resolution's tabled.
Okay, thanks all. Resolution 2022-64, authorizing a change order 5, existing water tank and improvements project for a total of $1,015.45. Do we
Tilly
have
will
a?
move.
Handle second.
All right, so this is standard as more work progresses on the tank, the more supplies will be needed and accountable for. This cost is valid up to a certain amount, and from what I've been told by Tara, it's well below the amount that would cause any major hindrances. This is just standard because it's through the state, right? Tara, was I right about that?
No, this is all, any contracts you do, if they have to make changes during the course and it goes over or under what they bid, they have to do a change order. But this has already been approved by the borough engineer. He's reviewed it, they're valid costs. And additionally, since this is a state funded project, we have an extra layer of oversight on this. And these change orders do get approved by the state as well. So many eyes are on this.
Okay, thanks. Any questions? Okay, do we have a motion?
We do.
We do.
I'm gonna go ahead and call the vote. Kim moved it and just seconded it already. So
Thank
Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Okay, thanks. Agenda 8, item 8, resolution 2022-65, authorizing townwide yard sales to be held on April 30th and May 1st, 2022, and October 1st and 2nd, 2022. October 2nd is my birthday, so I'll be selling stuff. Anyway, do we have a motion?
Handle move.
Tilly
have a
will
second?
second.
Do we have any questions? Okay, let's call a vote.
Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yeah.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
I can't wait to go around on October 2nd and buy up everybody's crap that's still there and give it to you for your birthday, Jeremy.
Oh, so kind. Thank you. I'm looking forward. I need all sorts of knickknacks. I do. I really do. All right. So there will be yard sales. Okay. Resolution 2022-66, authorizing an agreement with CME Associates for project engineering services for the Hopewell and Dewey Avenues Water Sewer Replacement Project. We have a motion.
Tilly will move.
Handle second.
Okay, so if I miss something, I'm going to ask Tara just to fill in a blank. So basically, the USDA requires specific language in these contracts, so that this just makes this happen. This will execute that requirement. Am I right about that, Tara? Fully? Did I miss something?
Nope, that's it. We already have contracts with them. These are just revised contracts so that the proper language that the state required is in there.
Okay, thanks. Any questions? Okay, Sally, let's call the vote.
Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Thank you. Resolution 2022, authorizing an agreement with CME Associates for project engineering services for the existing water tank improvement project. Do we have a motion?
Tilly will
Handle move.
move.
Handle
Tilly will
second.
second.
Okay, yeah, Kim moving and Jess seconding.
Oh, perfect.
So similar to the previous resolution, except this is for the water tower project, just truing up that language. Any questions? Okay, Sally, could we please call vote?
Yep. Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Okay, resolution 2022-68, amending the temporary budget for 2022. We have a motion.
Giles McCormick will move.
Handle second.
Okay, so this is our budget. This is done every year. This increases our temporary budget until we adopt the finalized version. This does not lock us into anything with the budget. The amounts still can change before we formally adopt.
Mhm.
Are
I'm
there any?
using last year as the guide, with the understanding that inflation and things cost more every year.
Yeah. Any questions? Okay, Sally, can we call a vote?
Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Resolution 2022-69, resolution of participation in the Safe and Secure Grant, State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Division of Criminal Justice, Safe and Secure Communities Program. We have a motion.
Tilly will move.
Handle second.
So this is a grant we get all the time. We do this each year. And this is just, this is a formality we run through in order to get that money. And it has to be done. And I don't have a ton of information besides what's already just in the resolution. But did anyone have any questions about this? And I could, if Bill's here, I don't know if he could explain it a little bit better.
Yeah, Mayor, this is a grant we've received, I think, every year since probably 1994. And it was at that time to pay for hiring an additional officer. And we get it every year just to keep them, we have to keep the same staffing level as when we had back then when we hired the person. So it used to be they gave us $26,000, but now they've kind of cut their funding a little bit. So we have to cover more of the costs.
But it does subsidize an officer, one of the officers' salaries.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, are there any questions? Okay, Sally, let's call a vote.
Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Okay. Resolution 2022-70, authorizing a contract for the installation of a keyless entry system at Borough Hall. Do I have a motion?
Handle move.
Tilly, I'll second.
Okay, so this is pretty self-explanatory. We don't currently have a keyless entry, haven't ever. It's something I believe we're talking about as far as like one of those COVID things we wanted to do. But now here it is. And does anybody have a question about it?
So I know Sally's, well, I don't want to speak on behalf of you, but generally I do think this is a good idea going forward, because it is something the borough staff has to coordinate to change every year, and with the physical keys.
Well,
When there is,
it's actually an expense because those
Yeah.
keys are like
Yeah.
not duplicatable. You know what I mean? They're expensive keys. So
Yeah.
this would be
Um,
saving that year this would be saving that yearly expense.
and this keyless entry will allow for us to electronically make those changes versus.
Yeah, you can activate or deactivate or put timing onto different people's keys,
Mhm.
the cards, so that it will allow them or not.
The one question I had was in regards to, it says we received 2 quotes, but it also says quote was not received. Does that mean it
No,
wasn't?
We sought 2 quotes.
Okay.
Because you
All right.
have to seek 2 quotes.
Okay.
So we sought 2 quotes and we
Okay.
got 1 back.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
And I just, so I'm clear on what this looks like, it's just you would have a card and you would hold it up to like a little box or something. Is that what this is?
It's gonna work. He's gonna do it like, so it can work either of 2 ways. One would be the fob that you would hold up, and the other would be, you would get assigned a number that you would punch in.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whichever
Now,
works best.
Will that work in conjunction with the interior key?
This does
Key
not
doors or no?
include, this does not include the interior doors. This is the front door and the back door for now.
Exterior only. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we don't change those interior ones every year. It's just the exterior ones that get changed frequently.
Yeah, I think the thinking was that the exterior doors was the
Yes.
priority to address.
Yes, I agree. I'm not looking the people. Yeah, the people who have those interior keys are the ones that need them, and we go from there. So yes, no, don't want to open that can of worms. Thank you. All right. So did we move? I'm sorry.
Yeah, do we have?
We have motions. Yep.
We don't have a motion yet.
No.
Oh, we do?
Just moved it and Kim seconded it and we've just discussed it. So if there's no more discussion, I can call a vote.
All right. See, this is like kind of scrambling
It's
me.
getting late in the meeting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not 100.
You haven't done this before, Jeremy. It's okay.
No, I know. Okay, so Sally, could we please call a vote?
Yeah. Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Sally. Resolution 2022-71, authorizing a contract with Tom McManus Associates for creation of a new master plan in an amount not to exceed $60,000. Do we have a motion?
Handle move.
Giles McCormick will second.
Okay. So as you know, every 10 years is we have to redo the master plan. There's a wholesale review, and it must be done in order to review all of our zoning. So this is just confirming that we're going to hire a plan to do that work. Questions, comments?
I think we're in a very unique spot to need to do this. It's a couple of years overdue because of COVID and other extraneous things, and
And a good time to do it, considering all that's happening here.
exactly.
All right.
There's no time like the present.
This is, I think that the last time they did a master plan was in 2010. They did a review in 2015, but
They
this is like
ring-fenced
doing a master plan again. So it's, yeah.
soup to nuts here.
Yeah. All right, Sally, can we call a vote?
Yeah. Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Okay, so now we move to our second public comment.
Yeah.
And if we have any folks on the phone, *9. And if you're out there, you want to raise a hand.
See if we got any hands raised. I do not see any hands.
Nothing?
raised.
Okay. All right. Do we have an attorney's report?
The only thing, I will get in contact with Mr. Boyle from Planet Networks. He was here thinking he was on the agenda for this meeting.
Yeah.
I'll get in contact with him, Sally, and
Oh, okay.
I think I have all the paperwork that he had sent back, I think at the beginning of the year. So I think we can safely put this on for the next meeting. So I'll review everything and get any suggested changes I have over to the council and over to Mr. Boyle and see if we can get them on for the next agenda.
Okay, that's the fiber optic thing, right?
Yeah, it's the standard. It's the permission to operate within your right of way.
Okay, okay.
So-
I've got a star on my notes to check into that tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tara. Now's the time where we pay some bills. Do I have a motion?
Tilly will move.
Handle second.
Sally, want to call a vote? Well, do we have any questions? I'm sorry about the bills here.
No.
Okay, Sally,
all
can
right.
you call a vote?
Yeah, Ms. Giles McCormick,
Yes.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Yes.
Ms. Tilly.
Yes.
All right, that's approved.
Okay, do we have any reason to move into executive session for anything tonight?
No, but I just have a question for Sally. I just
Sure.
want to confirm that the second reading on ordinance 2022-2 is going to be on March 28th.
No, I was thinking March 14th for
Okay,
that, for the easement. That's the
correct.
100-foot list. Yeah, the next meeting's February 28th, and I just need a little extra time to get the mailings out, the 200-foot notices. So I think it should be fine for the 14th.
That's fine. I just wanted to relay whatever the date was to DPW meeting tomorrow. For some reason, I wrote down the 28th, but I'm like, that's not 2 meetings, that's 3 meetings.
Yeah, no, the February 28th public hearings on the Environmental Commission ordinance.
Ah, okay.
And then the March 14th public hearings on the sewer easement.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anything else? For the good of the order here? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Handle move.
Tilly will second.
All right.
All
so-
in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Anyone
Thank you.
opposed? All right, we are adjourned.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Stay safe.
Thank you.